Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning. Today I'm taking a look at the Las Vegas Raiders and going over what to expect out of their pretty much brand new defense entering the 2021 season. But before that topic, question for those of you viewing, comment down below. Do you see the Raiders making the playoffs, yes or no? And I'll kind of give my answer at the end. Getting straight into it though, looking at this Raiders defense, they've made a decent amount of moves in this offseason that is bringing in a bunch of, I don't want to say random guys, but the guys they brought in reminds me of like a last chance you type of team. You know, there's big time talent on this team. Max Crosby, Yannick Ngakoue, who they brought in this offseason. Those are two possible edge rushers that can get you 10 sacks each. But other guys, Solomon Thomas, they have at defensive tackle somewhere on the Raiders depth chart, who at one point in time was a number 3 overall pick and had huge expectations and hasn't really lived up to that since. So he's a guy that's kind of gotten a bad rap, and now the Raiders are giving him a chance. Gerald Mccoy, a guy that's been out of the league for years, another defensive lineman, hasn't got an NFL shot. Raiders signed him. Here's one more shot. Wright, a linebacker, struggling to find a job on a 1-year contract because he's wanting a little too much money. Raiders gave him a shot. Hayward, a corner that's very much so past his prime but still has a little bit of talent. Raiders gave him a shot. Again, these aren't bad players they're signing, but there's a lot of risky moves that are full of guys with talent and potential, but either at the end of their careers or just got a bad rap. Like I said, this reminds me of a last chance U team with the amount of just random pickups they're picking up. Like I said, some guys are proven and brand names. Like I said, Max Crosby, Yannick Ngakoue, but at defensive line, it's pretty deep with just whomever. Like I said, Solomon Thomas. You got other guys in the front seven. Wright, Gerald McCoy, Carl Nassib's been around. Like I said, Hayward in the secondary, and some of these other guys are brand new, fresh, haven't even been to the team. You can't judge them at all. You know, Trevon Moehrig is supposed to be a very talented safety, and he's no guy that's got some baggage with him, but he's still a rookie. That's his baggage. He's young. He's inexperienced. They also are expecting Jonathan Abrams to take the next step up. Hopefully Littleton in the linebacker core can really help him out. It's just a completely different Raiders team compared to last year. And I know this is kind of more focused on just the defense, but the offense as a whole just hasn't changed that much for me to talk about. You know, the change I'm hoping for is just the guys that are on the roster are demanding more out of themselves. You know, Henry Ruggs hits that next level, is worthy of being the first receiver taken in this draft. Maybe Brian Edwards steps up like he's supposedly doing so in camp and practice and preseason and yada yada. And Hunter Renfrow behind him, Darren Waller's X Factor. Hopefully Alex Leatherwood on the old line could pan out. Josh Jacobs could stay healthy. If not, Kenyon Drake's a good backup. John Gruden just get to this team to the playoffs with Derek Carr. This is a completely, I don't want to say revamped team where they just completely hit that next level of being a tier 1 status by any means. But they've definitely attempted to put in some effort of changing this defense up and changing how this team looks. Do I think they're going to be a great defense or a good defense? Probably not. But do I think they're going to be better than they were last year? For sure. Like I said, getting the new blood in there, Trevon Moehrig, some old blood in there of KJ Wright, Gerald McCoy. Solomon Thomas isn't that old, but just this weird mixture of players. It's interesting to see, and I do think if some of these guys can really pan out or hit that next level or show they got gas in the tank again, Wright, Thomas, McCoy, Hayward, this Raiders team can be something fun to watch. Yannick Ngakoue, you know, he's a brand name, so I don't want to say he's really around that mix of trying to prove something. The guys, I think, had at least 8 sacks every single season of his career, so he's coming in hot, and with Max Crosby on the other end, that'll be cool to see. And I'm really hoping, you know, the change of coordinators and just having John Gruden realizing he's not on the hot seat, but he's close to the hot seat, will allow this, you know, coaching staff and these players to really hit that next level of saving jobs and push this team towards the playoffs. I think they're in a tough spot in that division because the Chiefs are the Chiefs, the Chargers are on the come up, and the Broncos have one of the best secondaries, one of the best defenses in the NFL. I know the Raiders fans are just going to call them the Donkeys and just discredit them, but I could argue the Broncos are a lot better in some positions compared to the Raiders. The Broncos definitely have a better secondary. In the pass rush, that's just unproven to be seen for now. You know, Bradley Chubb and Von Miller aren't fun to mess with, but there's a lot of unproven guys on the Raiders as well, so I don't want to call that out. Receiving room, of course, Dan Waller's an X Factor, but Jerry Jeudy, Noah Fant, Courtland Sutton, Tim Patrick, they can still hold their own. Obviously, quarterback's going to lean towards Raiders, but again, this isn't a Broncos versus Raiders video. I'm just saying this division is tough, and they do want to make the playoffs. They need this brand new defense to hit that next level. They need these older guys to prove they got gas left in the tank, and they could be reliable. KJ Wright, Gerald McCoy, Casey Hayward. I'm excited to see it. I'm not a Raiders fan, but I love to see teams revamped. I love to see good football, and I think it's always pretty good in the NFL when the Raiders got some momentum behind them. The fans, they have one of the crazy fan bases. They're now in Las Vegas. I think that'll be a great sports town. I'm excited to see what Las Vegas does this year. Again, they're banking a lot on these, I don't want to call it a last chance U team because it's not a bunch of convicts or a bunch of guys that did something wrong, or neither is last chance U. But you guys just see what I'm saying. There's just guys from everywhere for different reasons. And I'm excited to see it. I think it'll be tough to make the playoffs. In my opinion, the AFC is really tight. There's 4 guaranteed playoff teams, in my opinion, pending any huge injury. 7 seeds, 4 guaranteed playoff teams. I would say Chiefs, Bills, Ravens, Browns. To me, there's no debate around that at all. And then in the last 3 seeds, teams jumping around there. Colts and Titans. Someone's got to make it out of the South. Colts or Titans. You got Miami. You got the Patriots. You got possibly the Chargers, possibly the Broncos again. Raiders fans are going to be like, oh, they stand no chance, we're so much better than them. Of course, you're going to say that. You're a fan. You're going to be biased, but still, Chargers got a great offense, and the Broncos have a great defense, so don't underestimate them. But even if you don't count them, there's still 4, 5, 6 teams. The Raiders got to battle out for the final 3 playoff spots because they're not going to beat the Chiefs in the division. Steelers, another one that's a defense you don't want to underestimate by any means. They're still going to be somewhat competitive this year. Like I said, it'll be tough to make a playoff run, but depending on this revamped defense and what to expect out of them, I would say, again, they won't be great, they won't be good, but they probably won't be bottom, worst 2 in the league like last year, worst 3, worst 5, wherever you have them. I think they can hit that, mid-20s range, maybe fight into the teens of defenses, but this isn't a Super Bowl defense or team by any means. We'll just have to see how it pans out. I just think it's an exciting team to really talk about just due to all the different guys they brought in, just have floating around this roster. I think it's pretty cool to see, but we'll just have to see. I do want to hear your predictions. What are you guys thinking about this Raiders offense and defense? How far will they go? Just short of the playoffs, make the playoffs? Do you have a Super Bowl prediction? Even though I'm not a Raiders fan, I'm pretty unbiased and listening to what you guys have to say about their defense, about their team, about a player, or coach, or play, or just some factor I might not think of. Just drop it down below in the comments, and I'll be willing to change my mind if it's got the right take. But for back to the question today, of course, drop down below yes or no. Referring to the question today, Raiders in the playoffs or not. If you ask me, I would have to say no. But depending on these amount of guys, anything can happen. As always, and of course, thank you for watching, guys. Tune in the morning.